I'm very happy to see all of you tonight here. It's amazing how many people are interested in the workings of our brain and how this impacts marketing. Because what I'm going to do and to discuss with you tonight is not just some techniques of how marketeers are using the new discoveries of the brain to convince us by things. We will discuss some things about that, but why are we here is because I will try to convince you about something. And I will try to convince you that the new science of the brain, and when we are saying new, is because of something that you mentioned as well. Most of the discoveries for the brain are very recent. But you might say, how come? We deal about the brain for a long time. Yes, but fMRI scan, if you have heard this, magnetic scanning of the brain was developed in the 90s. So it is actually back to the 90s where we started getting very good pictures of what is happening in the brain. And this has a dramatic impact in the last decade of how we understand the brain. What I'm trying to convince you tonight is that in 10 years from now, maybe we can have a bet, the only marketing that will exist will be neuromarketing. In 10 years from now, the only communications that will exist is going to be neurocommunications or brain communications. The only politics that will exist will be neuropolitics. The only economics that will exist will be neuroeconomics. The impact of this view of the brain, the new view of the brain, will be so dramatic, first of all on science and then in our everyday lives, that I'm not sure we are ready for this. I'm not sure we are ready. And it's not only brain study in terms of neuroscience. There is also another part which is called behavioral sciences, like behavioral economics or behavioral marketing. Both of them say the same thing. And the thing that they say is rather simple. The view of human beings that we had up to now, the understanding of who we are, that then led to all these policies, techniques, methodologies, strategies, approaches, management styles, leadership theories, pricing policies, advertising you see on the street is wrong. The black box with the inputs and the outputs now is not so much a black box, and what we're looking into it actually is very different from what we expected. So prepare to have some of the things that you know challenged, some of the things that you know progressed. Because it's evening and it's a little bit informal, what I prepared is not the typical lecture. What I try to do is actually give you a collection of concepts, of ideas, of topics that build this case that I'm trying to make. Okay, we're going to watch some ads, we're going to see some experiments, we are going to challenge the view of who we are. If at the end of this 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, I don't know, it depends on how much coffee you had, okay. If at the end I managed to challenge a little bit how you see yourselves, then we have succeeded the evening. By the way, have you ever heard that just putting a brain on a presentation, on a cover of a book, or in an article, increases by many times the believability of the article? Let me repeat this. Just by putting a picture of a brain, increases the reliability, the trust that you have to what I'm going to say. How do we know this? Some scientists took 2 articles. Okay, actually it was exactly the same article. The one was without pictures, the other had 1 picture of a brain. They gave it to 2, 3, 4 separate groups of people to see it, control group as well to see the average believability. At the end the statistics showed that the groups that read the article with the brain believed the article 20, 30% more than the people that did. So maybe now you trust me a little bit more. I hope it will be at the end of the lecture as well. But I will take a marketeer's perspective, okay? Maybe you could take a psychologist or psychoanalyst perspective. I have to take a marketeer's perspective. I deal with marketing for all my adult life. I finished my bachelor, my MBA, my PhD in the University of Sheffield. Then I did a lot of academic research, consulting. I started my own consulting agency, freelance. Now I own my own advertising agency in Belgrade. We cover the whole region. I still teach with the MBA. I see a lot of people in all Southeast Europe concerning marketing, and the things that I have concluded up to now in my life, you will see them.